and welcome to our November Workday Chats, where we're sharing highlights from conversations for a changing world. I'm Elizabeth Houston, Director of Global Social Media here at Workday. As we've all experienced, the world of work has changed dramatically this year. Finance, HR, and IT are all facing new challenges, from navigating the shift to remote work to planning through uncertainty. We hosted conversations for a changing world to foster meaningful discussions about these pressing challenges and to share ideas to create lasting change. I'm excited to share highlights with you from these global changemakers and business leaders conversations. So let's get started. First off, let's dive in with a focus on digital agility. Organizations are increasingly investing in digital technologies to stay agile in a changing world. First, we'll hear about the latest trends in digital acceleration from Deloitte's Jason Dess, John Muir Health's Chris Pass, and Cushman & Wakefield's Adam Stanley, and why the partnership between IT and finance is key to driving efficiency. And Penny Lovett of the Salvation Army Australia reflects on how their investment in cloud-based technologies has increased agility and strengthened workforce partnerships. As well, Chuck Robbins, CEO of Cisco, shares perspectives on what the future of hybrid workforce models may look like. And finally, our IT leaders share insights on the tools needed to drive agility and become a more strategic partner to the business.
Now more than ever, it's essential that finance and IT work together to ensure success.
And I think the irony is that COVID really accelerated a lot of the trends we were already seeing.
It's no secret that telehealth and telemedicine has really been the poster child of one of the true game changers related to COVID.
It's really unlocking, to me, innovation that we would not have been able to unlock if we hadn't had such a drastic change in the environment. I would say in 2008, innovation and technology would have been the first things cut from most people's budgets. In 2020, they're the last thing.
It enabled us in healthcare to be much more rapid in terms of adopting to change and driving change. And second, really focusing on the value that all this technology can bring to us through the use of analytics. I think the next great wave, as we focus on technology and partner with that CIO, is driving that efficiency. And that's something that I think gets CIOs very excited. It's something that gets finance very excited.
The easiest way for a CFO and a CIO to get along, and I would even extend that to a chief marketing officer and a chief HR officer, is to think from the perspective of the board.
It's absolutely critical to be agile and take a strategic view of investments that support business transformation. Being flexible on your feet and having a working partnership between the CFO and CIO are critical for success, and it's more important than ever.
What we've discovered is that areas of the organisation that had invested in technology, in particular cloud-based technology, have been able to make the shift and respond to the crisis in a very agile way. One of the really unexpected things about this, though, has been that we've had a lot of people tell us that they now feel more part of a team than ever before. And that's because technology in many ways has been a real leveller for teams. I think also having the C-suite come together, or the executive team come together every day for a lot of this period to review what are the challenges being faced by the organisation and what are the solutions that we need to put in place. What has really helped has been to have really good quality data, because that has meant that we haven't spent time debating the data. It has meant that as a team we've been able to come to the table and appreciate the strengths that every individual has brought to the group.
One of the main things we've heard today is that digital agility is a key characteristic of an organisation, just such as yours, and that those that have it have an ability to adapt and thrive in challenging times.
We've been looking at what are the implications now of this new hybrid work model that we believe we're going to see, or a more expeditious transition to the cloud with our customers, or a massively distributed workforce. We have a mandate as a society to go create more equal opportunity for everyone. And I think some of the trends that we have seen this year can actually help as we come out of it. And I think as we come out of this, there are going to be more and more opportunities where we've realized things in 2020 that will influence what we need to do as we move forward. We think that, and everybody thinks that higher ed is going to change forever, so that you're going to have hybrid education, meaning that students will be in the classroom or in the lecture hall. Some students will be at home. I think even when you make tough decisions, if you can figure out ways to do it in a different way that shows more compassion for the employees and more compassion for what's going on. I think the things that I've learned are you have to have people who absolutely believe in the mission and are all rowing in the same direction, and people that don't believe it, it's okay, but they can't be a part of it. You have to have people that really believe.
As IT teams, we have to think like agile software developers, working quickly across virtual teams while getting used to collaborating remotely to deliver new capabilities in sprints. We as IT must deliver an experience that provides efficiency for gaining easy access to the things you need to do your work, built on a rock-solid foundation that is secure, resilient, and agile.
The concept of configurability and self-service is key for an IT org that can respond in days, not months, to a rapidly changing set of business, user, and security requirements.
This ability to respond quickly is critical to the CIO's ability to be a strategic partner to the business. IT organizations need choices on how they architect to bring data in and utilize data to drive business processes or analysis for decision making. And they need to do this with resilience and security in mind.
We appreciate these important points these executives shared. Now, let's switch gears to share highlights around the theme of staying people-centric. With increased investment in digital technologies, it's vital that organizations remain people-centric. ABSA's Dr. Rose Phillips and ThyssenKrupp Steel's Dr. Michael Krantz share how their organizations are driving digital transformation while keeping a people-first mindset. Also, CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, speaks to the importance of reskilling the workforce and building resilience through digital technology. Also, Telstra's Alexandra Baknoff, MasterCard's Parag Mehta, and our own Greg Pryor discuss why continuous learning and upskilling are vital for the future of the workforce. And our HR leaders share insights to support employees in times of crisis and beyond.
There's no doubt that over the past decade, organizations that embrace digital solutions have had greater success and shown greater resilience in the face of adversity.
While we might say that we are digitally powered, ultimately, we are people-led.
If you consider this for the whole organization, you can define something like an executional heartbeat of the organization.
We are seeing a shift in the world of work where resilience is just as important as revenue, purpose is just as important as profit, and meaning is just as important as money.
So that's definitely true that the crisis has changed the dynamic of the C-suite. And maybe you can use the letter C for courage, because this is something you need to drive the transformation forward.
You can't rebuild an organization without talent. And the best talent is going to go or stay where bridges have been built, not where bridges have been burnt.
There's no doubt that digital acceleration is helping organizations navigate the current challenges, providing the tools to support a changing workplace and build the foundations for sustainable growth.
The most important priority in the first instance was the safety of our own employees. Then the second aspect, Alan, was we became digital first responders to all the first responders out there. When I look forward, I think that digital technology now is very key to all resilience. The need for this digital tech intensity for both resilience and transformation has become pretty important. So in some sense, I feel that even companies like ours have to create local surplus in all communities, in all countries we participate in. Knowledge workers in frontline workers, small businesses, large businesses. And so that's sort of one aspect of it. We know that coming out of this crisis with all this digital transformation, accelerating, we will need to reskill and upskill our entire workforce. I want to be able to hold that mirror every day and say, look, how did I confront my fixed mindset and learn something today that makes me better tomorrow?
As employers, we're going to need to have a really clear way to support and drive the continuous learning of our employees going forward.
We have to think of ways both to train our current workforces for the skills that they need today and tomorrow, but also to create pipelines of opportunity for new workers to come into our companies.
To become agile, you've got to embrace the whole change, not just part of the change.
Tech can be an enabler of the solution, but at the end of the day, it has to be people-centric.
It's not the future of work, it's the future of the worker. It's the future of our workforce.
As a result of many unforeseen challenges in 2020, the role of the CHRO has become even more essential as we take the lead on supporting employees during this time. Recent events are challenging us to stretch our responsibilities like never before and accelerating the transition to the future of work in ways we couldn't have imagined.
We found that communication and culture are highly correlated with an organization's stability in a crisis. So what we're finding is that a strong culture, clear communication, and solid executive alignment with the business contributes to agility and resilience.
It's our mission to shape the changing world of HR, and it's more urgent than ever that we build capabilities for CHROs to lead truly agile organizations that can be resilient through this crisis and any that surface in the future. And we're doing that today by bringing planning, analysis, and execution into one single system. This is what they need to enable flexible operating models and to successfully navigate change. CHROs are managing one of the most significant shifts that has ever hit the workforce, reskilling and managing around skills.
The employee experience is such a critical part of any organization's success, especially during this dynamic time. Okay, let's turn our attention to talking about one of the biggest priorities companies are focused on: belonging and diversity. In this next set of highlights, our speakers dive into how effective companies are delivering on diversity and inclusion initiatives. Home Depot's Anne-Marie Campbell, Dow's Karen Carter, and our very own Karen Taylor and Pete Schlamp share perspectives to nurture a culture of belonging.
Today, we're not only facing health and economic crises, we're also facing a social crisis. As leaders in the business community, it's critical that we realize that we can make impactful change. The business case for DEI issues should no longer be an obstacle for companies. It's clear, more diverse organizations outperform others across the board.
The thing that we need to tell our peers, our colleagues, and our communities is you've got to act. But if we don't address the diversity in our own talent pipeline, then we really wouldn't have done much at all. So we are absolutely committed to closing the gaps in our own talent pipeline. We have to do something right now in this moment to make sure that this moment doesn't just stay a moment, but actually becomes a movement where we can see real, visible, and meaningful change.
It is important that you're aware of what's happening with a diverse set of people and a diverse set of associates. And if you're not engaged and you're not aware, you're not going to be in the know of what may be happening to different constituents. I think that is incredibly important. We have to be personally responsible for what we bring to the table, how we act, how we engage.
You must cultivate a culture of inclusion, one where every voice matters and one where everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive. And if you really want to have equal opportunity, you must assess and eliminate any disparities in your programs, policies, and processes. And that's a difficult thing to do, but you must do it because it's about fairness.
With the current state of the world, there are big expectations around D&I, all the way from driving cultural change to managing community activities to hiring and developing talent, all in an effort to create a great place to work for all. There really is a lot to do. We're committed to belonging and diversity, and we're in good company with customers who have shared aspirations. It really is all about taking action. At Workday, we like to say it's not about goal setting, it's about goal getting. As a diversity and inclusion leader, I'm fortunate that not only do I get to shape a better workplace for all of our employees within Workday, I also get to work with teams that create software that can empower an organization to do the same.
We've seen a lot of investments in this area over the years. Companies are investing upwards of $8 billion on diversity and inclusion initiatives, but those efforts haven't brought the results that we expected. 40% of employees still feel like they're isolated at work.
Belonging is the key. Belonging gives people a sense of security and a sense of identity and acceptance as a part of their company. When employees feel like they belong, Pete, they will be more engaged. Belonging isn't just about bringing in diverse talent. It's about retaining them also. And when employees feel like they belong, frankly, turnover risk is cut in half. Valuing inclusion, belonging, equity, in addition to diversity, is key. Diversity is a fact. Inclusion is actually a behavior. Belonging is more of an emotion. And equity is an investment. Understanding and valuing all of these are critical to success in creating a great place to work for all. The business case for diversity is clear. Companies that are racially diverse outperform their industry peers by 33%. But we also need to look at inclusion, belonging, and equity. VIBE is Workday's strategic methodology and approach to D&I. It stands for value, inclusion, belonging, and equity for all. When employees are able to bring their best selves to work, they can best contribute to our company's success.
There's really no one-size-fits-all approach, but there are 3 common themes that I hear from them. First of all, they need to make decisions based upon data to understand where they need to improve. Second, they're eager to hire and develop diverse talent. And finally, they need to engage employees of all backgrounds and increase that sense of belonging.
We're growing and building solutions that we think will be game changers and have a real impact for belonging and diversity. And we want to share our best practices and solutions along the way. At the end of the day, we want to build a better world together with you, our customers.
We really appreciate this candid conversation, and we'll share insights like these that were highlighted in upcoming Workday chats. For now, let's switch topics to showing a few key moments from our planning through uncertainty conversations. How are businesses changing their approaches to planning, to navigating through uncertainty, and what role is automation playing? KPMG's Sanjay Sahgal, G6 Hospitality's Sherry Vidal-Brown, and Microsoft's Mustafa Oz-Keskin speak to the importance of continuous planning in times of disruption. Our planning leaders discuss the need for trustworthy data and analytics, and how tools such as AI and machine learning are enabling businesses to respond to change quickly and more strategically.
From trying to figure out how to work effectively remotely to the constant planning and forecasting for the future, each of us has been challenged in a unique way.
So our goal was really around how could we operate differently and quickly adapt, and that's what we put in place with our crisis team.
Our business is driven by people, and our culture is the force behind that. Initially, we moved away from just making an annual plan and sticking to it. We knew we had to make some plans, and we need to adjust them on a regular basis.
Our approach around planning is a little bit more fluid. So it's continuous planning, if you want to use that term. And a couple of things that we're doing in using some of our Workday data and honestly some of our analytics data, we had all this information.
It's very important to prepare yourself for different scenarios that can be relevant in your business.
Ultimately, if our leaders are able to adapt quickly, our business can recover quickly and also support what we're intended to do is to be out there to support our guests and our team members and our franchisees.
Scenario planning and continuous planning enables us to embrace uncertainty and to use it to our advantage so we can think fast, move first, and change rapidly while maintaining control and stability.
Over this time, one theme rings true. Everyone is interested in how they can better anticipate change and increase the velocity and quality of decision making in response to those changes.
The problem is updating strategies, financial and operational plans once or twice a year just doesn't work when the rest of the business functions in real time.
Now, you can't separate data from analytics or AI. And as the volume and variety of available data grows, AI and machine learning will really take planning to that next level.
We see artificial intelligence and machine learning surfacing significantly, being critical to our next wave of innovation that we call intelligent planning. Intelligent planning harnesses the speed and abundance of computing resources and combines it with technologies like machine learning to take planning to the next level.
We hope you've enjoyed these highlights and gained valuable insights to plan through uncertainty, drive digital agility, create a culture of belonging, and remain people-centric. To catch more highlights from Conversations for a Changing World, be sure to check out the on-demand link. Thank you for joining us.